will help me as to better, for example, I send it from write the complexity of my message. We are ready to
I asked the same question yesterday. Same. Who will launch ads tomorrow? Hopefully. Okay, that's great. Yeah, so far we talked mostly about like selling before building, right? How to find and validate your idea. Also talked about fundraising versus bootstrapped. Today we will talk about personal branding, and we not only have an expert of the Web3 space, but also an expert and a person who raised exactly 10 million for her fund. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Victoria Klich on the stage.
Hello. Okay, it's working.
Works fine?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Maybe you can introduce you. Maybe you can start with introducing yourself. Who are you and what are you doing right now?
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Victoria, but everyone is calling me Vicky, so feel free to call me also Vicky. Is this mic working? It feels like it's not. Okay. Thank you. Actually, we also have an event space, so I'm also always doing the same mistakes. But okay, other thing. I'm Vicky. I'm one of the co-founders of the W3 Group. Two of my other co-founders are also from Code University. So we met at university and then everything started into the Web3 space. But just short what we're doing. The W3 Group basically is a boomer name for something where you can definitely see something is underneath that. So we have two funds. We have a co-working and community space. We do a lot of content, and we do, I would say, I don't know how many people are into blockchain here, but we do, let's say, technical infrastructure. For those of you who know blockchain, we do staking, but other than that, just ignore that. That is the quick introduction. Just ask me more questions if you want to, because otherwise I'll just talk.
That's a pretty well introduction so far. Also, I called you like the personal branding expert because you have top voice on LinkedIn with over 20,000 followers, right? I think that's kind of the topic for today. Like, how is your personal branding actually helping you with your business? And also, I kind of want to find out, is personal branding also helpful for early stage teams, or in which scenarios does it make sense? Is there also a way it doesn't make sense? But maybe we can start from the beginning. Like, how did you start the W3 Group?
Yeah. Okay. So you have to know, I remember very clearly that at some point at this university we had so many blockchain classes, and I participated in many of them, but I didn't understand anything. Like, no clue how a blockchain works, no clue what Bitcoin is, and that was in 2020, I guess, right before COVID, or 19. And then actually I know that COVID was really bad for most of the people. For us, it was the best thing that could have happened to our business, because this is where I got to know my two co-founders, Nate and Henrik, also Code alumni, way better, because we accidentally moved in with each other, and then the COVID wave hit, and we were stuck, the three of us, and then realized, hey, let's build something together. And I don't really remember the scholarship name anymore. I'm super sorry, this is so bad of me.
The Launchpad?
Yeah. What's the name of it again?
I think it was called Launchpad and also Catalyst program.
Something like that. It was too much time ago.
Like a similar event like this, right? Where you work like...
No, but we got a scholarship from, like, we got money from the state as well. And Code was also participating in that. I'm super sorry. No, it wasn't X, it was BSS or something like this. Sorry. Okay, thank you. Nevertheless, you have to imagine I never wanted to found a company, but Nate and Henrik were convinced that we should do, the three of us, something together. So they applied for this scholarship, and then they called me and said, hey, you need to quit your job because we need to found a company together in order to get the scholarship. And I was like, oh no, I don't want this responsibility, to be honest. Like, I was studying at Code, but I actually never thought about finding a company, even though you have the perfect ground plate where you can do these things. But then I realized, okay, I guess I just say yes to it, which was the best decision of my life. But then I said yes, I quit my job, and then we actually founded a company that has nothing to do with blockchain. But is Roland Fassauer still here?
He was here today,
okay.
Actually.
Best guy, because this guy told us to look into NFTs in early 2021, and he's responsible for everything that got out of this actually, because we were like, okay, we don't know how blockchain works, but there has to be something, because all of a sudden people start to spend millions on images, and maybe this is something that we can also do. And this is how it all started. And I don't want to go too deep into NFTs and stuff because I think it's not relevant for today. But one of the very first things actually that we thought, even though we just started, was, okay, who's taking care of LinkedIn? For some reason, I don't know what it is with you guys, but I was never on LinkedIn before I started to study at Code. And then all of a sudden, everyone was like, oh, we need to be on LinkedIn. And I was like, oh my God, this is such a cringe platform, but okay. It's still cringe. And I'm a LinkedIn top voice. Like, this is just the vibe that I want to get you guys into. And for some reason, I mean, obviously, we were 5 men and 1 woman, so it was quite clear who was taking care of the LinkedIn job. It was me. Because I was probably the one with the best charisma, but also probably the one with the most interesting story, because women, blockchain, and all of these things. And this is how it all started. Like, even though nothing of this was planned, for some reason, telling our story to the outside world and communicating what we are about to do felt so important right from the beginning. And this is where I decided to start my little LinkedIn journey with 0 followers, or at least a couple of followers from Code, I guess. But no clue at all what I'm about to say.
And how many years ago was it that you
It
started?
was in 2021. Yeah.
And so what were like the first posts you did? Like, how did you actually start? And
Okay, so I have to admit I didn't start by myself. So we were very lucky that in our friends group there was a guy who just became like a freelance, I help you with your LinkedIn type of stuff. Marvin is his name. And we asked him for advice, and he said, you know what, you can be my very first client and we can try it together. So I had the privilege that there was someone who would take the cringeness from me and just and just say, this is what you need to do, and trust me, it will work. And in the beginning, we actually, I just like go through the process, right?
perfect.
We defined how I want to position myself on LinkedIn, which was obviously, okay, back then I was like 23, 24 years old. I'm this young founder in the Web3 space, doing this for the very first time, talking about my life, being a female in a very male-dominant world, but also trying to really educate people about this blockchain thing, because it is super complex, but you can also find very easy words in order to make people aware of something that could be potentially way bigger than it sounds from the media, where back in the days, now it's not the case anymore, but back in the days everyone was like, Bitcoin is this thing where people buy drugs with, which nowadays is so stupid because the blockchain is transparent. FYI, don't buy drugs with your Bitcoin because everyone can see that it's you. Or that it's so like against the environment and stuff, which nowadays doesn't make sense anymore, but still, that was the case back then. So we defined that, and then we started to actually do an interview and record myself. So he was sitting in front of me, I was sitting here, and for like 2 hours straight, he was just asking me questions, recorded everything, and then all of a sudden we had 20 LinkedIn posts just about my life, how I became what I am right now, or back then. And then the most cringest part for me was to also take photos of me. Like, you know, LinkedIn posts, I can assure you, don't work without photos or anything. Always include that right straight from the beginning, even though you think, why should I put a selfie of me on a business platform where I talk about business? Just trust me, it works. It's so stupid, but it works. And he helped me to like really overcome this. Do I really want to post this? Do I really be so vulnerable? Because this is also what people like. But one of the very few posts, they generated so much engagement, so much traction. And this is probably something that motivates you, because it shows, okay, apparently there are like thousands of people interested in what I'm doing. And my biggest fear in the beginning was that I position myself as an expert of something I have no fucking clue of. Like, we started with blockchain, and I thought we were pretty smart, but you always have in your mind that there are always people who are way smarter than you. And I was so scared that I would receive these like comments from people saying, this is wrong, what are you talking about, blah. nothing of this happened. Like nothing of this happened. Actually, the complete other side happened. Everyone was so engaging and so lovely. So this motivated me to just keep continuing.
Nice. I'm glad you did. And I was curious, like, and I think many also, how is the personal branding actually like helping your business and maybe also your personal life?
Yeah.
And
Really don't underestimate what kind of an effect it can have to have a presence online. And I think LinkedIn is probably, depending on what you guys do, but I would say when you do business, you want to reach people who do business, so just use LinkedIn. I have no clue about TikTok and Instagram, so you need to ask someone else. I can tell you stuff about LinkedIn. In the beginning, you probably don't really, like, you have no KPIs that you can just touch because you don't know, is a sale really coming from this one post? But generally, if people are interested in what you do and engage with your postings, the number one thing that's the most important one is the consistency part. So don't post just one LinkedIn post and wait for something to happen. You need to have a plan. You need to do it at least 3 times a week, if not 5 times a week. Even so, it's did someone say fuck? Oh, sorry. Yeah, start with 3 times, find a flow, and just post and learn from like the content that you do. And what I've realized pretty fast is that I gained, like, I started in early 2021. I can tell you 1 year later, I already had this LinkedIn Top Voice badge. It took me like a year, and then all of a sudden I had like 10,000 of followers because I probably also filled a niche. This is something I have to admit. It was very new that a female, back then I did this in German, that a female in Germany, in German, wrote about these things. I could tell you there was maybe just one other woman probably doing it. But nevertheless, if people are interested in what you do, you constantly appear on their dashboard, on their timeline. And if whenever they open LinkedIn, they see again, oh, there's this one person saying these things about these things, they're probably not, they're probably pretty smart and very consistent in what they do, and they believe in that stuff, and they really represent that vision. And this is generating trust. And you never know that at some point someone might need something or is now your target audience and wasn't your target audience before that for whatever reason. But this person will probably associate you with a solution other than someone they have never heard about. So for us business-wise, internally they call me the Außenministerin, which is, I don't know the English, yeah. Foreign minister. I'm the foreign minister of our company. This is how they call me internally, because I just communicate to the outside what we're doing, and when people want something from us, they usually do it via my account.
And is it like clients or customers you got? Is it help you with fundraising? And like what specific benefits do you think? Even though it's hard to measure, right?
Probably actually everything, because there was no other channel that we were using in order to communicate what we do. So it was always LinkedIn. Obviously, at some point, we generated emails through events, and you would send out emails and start a newsletter. But LinkedIn was the only channel where we would always say, this is what we're doing, this is the events that we're hosting, we now opened up a fund, or now all of a sudden we're doing a conference. This is the channel that we were using. And the more traction you get, the more other people get your attention, and this is how new business opportunities evolve. Like, you cannot imagine at some point in like 2022 and 2023, there was the time where all of a sudden every company that you know of was doing NFTs, which was super crazy. But I was probably the only one in Germany where people thought, okay, if we have something like a speaking slot or some kind of workshop for our companies, all of a sudden people came to me because they associated me/us with these expertise. So I think I had like already like 50 stage presence just in like 1 year because of LinkedIn and nothing else.
Wow. And
That was a lot.
I can imagine. What? Maybe we can give it a round of applause.
But that sounds also so arrogant. I'm super sorry. I just skipped the numbers.
No way, you're super humble. I'm wondering now, we have like mostly like early stage teams here, or just about like getting the first customers, validating the product. And I'm wondering, does it also make sense for like very early projects to start personal branding?
I think the earlier the better, because this is the time where you can, and I think this is probably the most motivating part, is to really document your journey. You can do it for yourself. You can learn from, just start to post. Maybe a video is something that works for you. Maybe a long post is something that works for you. Maybe just a couple of sentences work. You learn that throughout the way, but the earlier you start, the earlier you also get better and also generate the traction in the right field. So I don't think that it makes sense to wait until a certain point. So I don't know how far you are in the process, but immediately start with, hey, I'm XYZ, I'm documenting now my project XYZ, and these are my learnings. And just see how others are reacting to that. And the most important part, and this is really, really the most important part, I would say consistency over quality, because the moment you start to really perfectionalize everything that you write, I can tell you this is a waste of time. Obviously, you should be very, very okay and fine with the stuff that you release. And if you feel uncomfortable because it's so intimate to talk about failures and stuff, you don't necessarily have to do it. But I mean, you're all young. We know how attention economy works somehow. If you do like generic boring stuff, usually it will not gain traction. Don't be too provocative, but I can tell you, try out what works and what doesn't work, and just learn from that. And the earlier you start, the better. Like 100%.
And also you said like when you started, you were positioning yourself as an expert, but didn't really have like this expertise yet. So like, is it kind of like you document your journey totally?
Yeah.
And
It's so the thing is, I think it's always in how to find the right words and how to really, if you do photos and videos of yourself, how you position yourself. I always try to not be the arrogant person who came into the room and all of a sudden knew everything better. So I think if you make your postings in a way that people can start a discussion, or you're always open to feedback and engaging also within the comments, then there's actually not a real like negative critique, so to say, because you always say, hey, we can talk, we can discuss. And the fun part is, I still, like, even after 5 years, I still sometimes, guys, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, seriously, even though with like 5 companies now, I'm still don't think that I'm the expert in everything. We still do so many mistakes. And usually people know this as well. But nevertheless, having the guts to really stand in front of everyone saying, hey, I want to talk about this and I want to present this, and also show, obviously show the highs, but also show the lows. Especially the lows are always stuff that people can learn from. It's nothing bad about this, and it's also nothing bad to pretend that you know something you don't know of. I can tell you there are a lot of people who don't know what they're doing on this platform.
probably everywhere, right?
Yeah. I mean, sorry, that was maybe wrong. Like, you should talk about stuff that you like and stuff that you want to learn, and not like random things. But don't take yourself too serious, because I think this will just be like standing in your way, and you should just try out as many things as you can. And I think, I don't know if this is still a quote from Code, but I remember this one thing: learning is productive failing. Is it still being used?
100%.
This is this one sentence that stuck in my mind, and this is generally how we work in our company, to be honest.
What do you think are like the most common things that keep people from actually start going out there, building their personal brand? One thing I have in mind, for example, is like, hey, I don't know if I'm just about to validate this idea I have. Is it worth starting now? Maybe I will pivot. What do you say about that?
I think, to be honest, I think number one is really, I think this is cringe, and I don't know, who am I, what can I tell to other people, am I good enough, all of these things. But I have mad respect for everyone starting at some point, because I know exactly how it feels like to start, having only like maybe 5 likes on your postings where you put so much effort into it, and this still happens even after 20k followers. There are still some posts who just not perform well, and you're like, why didn't it perform well? but it doesn't matter at all, because in the end, people just see she's posting something again, she's doing something again, and oh, they did that, and they've learned this, and all of a sudden, a lot of other things can happen out of this. And I think the biggest mistake is not to try it out and learn for yourself how you want to present yourself, because for everyone it's different. But this is probably one of, next to quitting my job, I would say LinkedIn was the second best decision, because it not only made our company better and created new opportunities for our companies, but also just from a personal perspective, it taught me how to write, it taught me how to engage with people, it taught me how to present myself. I have no fear at all anymore to go on stages, to talk in front of people. It's all gone. It's like you get used to this so fast, and this also teaches you how you, depending on if you're the CEO, like the person who presents probably for your company, at some point you have to speak in front of people, being it written or on stage, and this is just the best way to start to see how people react to the things that you communicate on whatever platform.
Do you think there are like some criterias where you say, okay, it totally makes sense for you to build a personal brand on LinkedIn, or should anyone do it? Is there like kind of, I don't know, some signals you should follow?
I think one thing that I learned for sure is that you never know what can evolve out of this. Never. So many things that happened to my job and my companies happened so randomly, but somehow most of it is somehow connected to LinkedIn, because it's either a person that was following my podcast that I was always posting on LinkedIn, or my newsletter, and then all of a sudden he started to work in crypto for the Solana Foundation, which is like a huge blockchain. And then he was just writing me on LinkedIn saying, hey, can we talk? I work for them now, and I see that you guys are positioning yourselves in Berlin because I have you on my feed, and now Solana is our best customer since 3 years. And on top of that, so many other things happened as well. Even, and this is so random, this has nothing to do with business, but I cannot believe this happened. Even a guy from Mercedes-Benz sent me a message 2 weeks ago asking if I want to buy a car, because he was seeing that we do a lot of stuff in crypto and assumed I have money. I had the most expensive car from Mercedes for a day last week, so this happened as well, which is not business related, but so random things that can happen. I hope this guy doesn't see it. Jens, bitte weghören. But other than that, a lot of my stage presence, actually, so I usually the person that goes on stages, do presentation, pitches on conferences and stuff. Usually people check on your LinkedIn, check if this person, is he or she saying something, is this person representing your business properly, representing your brand, what he or she stands for. I don't know how it is with you, but for me it's always, I always check everyone's LinkedIn if it has a business relation. And having like a clean LinkedIn anyways would make sense. And if you're posting very regularly, even better, because people are assuming you're really behind what you're doing.
And is there anything you would have done differently from your journey in terms of like building a personal brand?
I would have started with YouTube way earlier. I think completely underrated, has nothing to do with LinkedIn, but YouTube, I think, is also something. I know so many people who started just to vlog. I also did this, I tried it out, so this was even cringier than LinkedIn. It was YouTube, like having a camera and then talking into the camera, being around people. So I also did like a couple of episodes of my vlog, which was like a year, 1.5 ago. You can check it out. I'm not scared of your opinion. But I would have started with that earlier, because I think video content is so valuable nowadays, where I feel that more and more people start to rather consume content via video than written, even though LinkedIn is still very, it's not old like Xing, but it's still, you still have people, majority of people are reading, but they also integrated now a video feed. So I would have loved to just be more probably experienced in video content sooner than later.
And is there, besides of like, okay, YouTube is more video and LinkedIn is more graphics, is there also like a difference in like, I don't know, the content you're doing, the target audience you're building, or?
In the beginning, I was trying to be very formal because I thought this is how people should perceive me, like the professional person on LinkedIn who is a little bit funny, because this is just part of our brand as well. Like, our brand is very young, dynamic, and all of these fancy words. But now, and this is maybe a very privileged situation, after 4 or 5 years of doing all of these content things and being the person also responsible in our company for that, I would say I'm almost 100% myself on LinkedIn now. I make these jokes and I really don't take myself serious anymore at all. Also the stuff that I'm commenting on. But I don't know if this is fair to say that you should start with that right from the beginning, because people could potentially think, "Oh, who does this person think she is?" But up until now, I got so much feedback on my authenticity, so I was like, okay, then I'm playing it. But I think, again, coming to the you don't need to be perfect, just be yourself. But obviously, depending on what you're trying to sell or what you're trying to build, try to really speak the language of your community. And for us, it was very important to do this in the beginning in German. Now we do everything in English, but a very complex topic like this, niche in Germany, how do we address the most people? Probably in their native language, because if you would start talking about blockchain, NFTs, Web3, the metaverse, in English, you lose a lot of German people, especially when it all started and everything was so new. But now that we've built up a brand, at some point you need to switch to English, 100%. But we found our niche in German, and that went very well.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
I think it's time to open the mic for the Q&A. This time we also have a third mic, which makes it more easy. So it would be nice if you ask your question, maybe bring it to the next person after.
Hi. No problem. Yes. In the beginning, it was really awareness for what we have been doing. So we started to invest in, back then it was just digital assets, so NFTs and crypto. Now it's also startups. We also invest in startups. But back then, to be honest, I don't really remember it properly. For us, it was just so clear that who is doing the LinkedIn part now? Because now that we started a company, we felt that we need to have like a channel to communicate. So my goal was to showcase what we're doing. Like, whenever we did a new project, we just wrote about this. But on the other hand, what's also what's working quite well is really your personal founder journey. So not just we built this and this is what we've learned, but rather, oh, this is the second company that I've built right now and I don't know what I'm doing. All of these things that are more relatable for most of the founders who are just starting is actually the stuff that works funnily the best on my LinkedIn, like really these personal things. But in the end, there was no, as I said, there was no KPI. I was not like, okay, now I want to post 100 times and then hopefully the fund is fully funded, but rather let's just go with the flow. Let's increase in followers. Let's increase in engagement and make sure that I don't post 10 posts where I see no changes, because they're all the same. I really try to learn from everything and ideally just grow my audience. Yeah. My inner cringe? Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think when you read through what you just created and you think like, damn, that's actually really good, and damn, I would also read this, and I really like the hook, and I like the key message, and I always have a template when I start my postings, and the first part of the template is always, what value does the reader get out of it? And this is the one question that I'm always asking myself, and if it is somewhere hidden in there, or there's a clear call to action, and I feel comfortable with what I've read, then I'll just put it out. And the inner critique, I mean, I don't know, at some point, it sounds so, you need to just click on the share button. Just do it, because one addition, I know you always want to ask something in between. I see it. I see it from my eyes. Sorry, but one addition to that is, don't over-complex things, because I thought when I don't write something perfect, it's stuck in the internet forever, and people will go back to this post and say, "But back then you wrote this." No one is doing this. No one is doing this. So as long as you don't write like very negative stuff and very uncomfortable stuff, usually people don't really remember something negative. They only remember, okay, she has written about this and that, and oh, that was a good post, I like that. I mean, maybe someone else is thinking different, but this is what I got out of my experience.
I would also maybe embrace the cringe, embrace the rejection.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you're not doing it, you will probably regret it at some point. I can tell you, like, I would have regretted so much if I wouldn't have started it and just, post this thing where I was in front of the very first pizza NFT that we were doing. Like, I thought this is something I would never post on LinkedIn, like just from the photo. But Marvin was like, no, it will work, it will work, it will work. And I trusted this guy. I had the privilege of I had this guy. And he was just like saying, do it, do it, do it. And then I did it. But there's really nothing wrong in just trying out a lot of things, because no one will really remember the postings where you only had 2 likes or 3 likes or no engagement. In the end, people will just see the progress. Yeah, then where you don't have an inner cringe.
Okay.
Hallo, hallo.
I recently started to try and build my personal brand on LinkedIn, and right now the personal posts always perform. So I have 2 kind of categories of what I post. One is personal, and one is more related to the startup I'm doing right now. And it's very it's branded. It's very businessy and maybe even business salesy. And of course, those don't perform as well as the other ones usually, but I still want to have that be part of the reason why. I mean, it's part of the reason why I'm doing this. So I'm looking to find a way to promote my startup in an effective way and build my personal brand at the same time. So I'm trying to weigh which post type I should do.
I feel you, because usually the posts that are more personal compared to the obviously come to our event, we do this and that, they always perform better. And my learning is rather that everything is about storytelling. So even though you post something that is very heavily business related, really try to put this into a nice story. And most of the most important part about a LinkedIn post next to the photo is actually the first 2 sentence or 1 sentence, like this one thing where you can click on show more. It's the hook. This is, I can tell you, you should write the post first and then take at least 10 to 15 minutes just thinking about a proper hook. Like, even though the post is already done, try to make the hook as perfect as you can, and that means as catchy as you can. You don't need to be completely, oh, my father died yesterday. This is what I got out of it. I know. It's the playbook, but don't do that, because this is very uncomfortable, but rather try to find a really good hook and try to find a story that you can tell around your business. It doesn't need to be personal, but I don't know, maybe what could also help is try to find creators that I call them creators, but like just people on LinkedIn, that are doing exactly what you would also love to do in terms of putting their business in front, and just try to copy that first. Like just the structure or the storytelling of a post that you like, you can also do that. But
I know this guy Samuel Kim, who I think he might have even analyzed one of your posts, I think.
really,
Yeah.
shout out Samuel. I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
But
Samuel Kim, he does like he that's his LinkedIn content. It's about taking LinkedIn posts and then showing you, okay, this is the hook, this is like
Nice.
he like splits it up into sections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is also something. This is, I would say, this is level, like this is the next level. So once you've started your LinkedIn journey, you have this consistency. I would say then you can think about the real structure of a post and how it should look like. Because if you just like write text without any breaks in between, no one will read it. If it's too long, no one will read it. If it's too short, you have to find the right words to make it like really on point. But this is for me, once you have this consistency and you can think about these things. And yeah, in terms of your business, really try storytelling. It's key.
Okay, one last question from my side. Are you doing video content on LinkedIn right now? Because I'm thinking of starting the reels there too and just reusing our Instagram content.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Yeah.
that though.
So I do sometimes videos for LinkedIn. I have to admit, personally,
Not that many, right?
it's not working as well as posts with just photos. I've heard from other content creators that it's different, but these are the ones, the Diana zu Löwens of this world. They already have like 1 million followers, so obviously the video content somehow also works well. I haven't cracked the LinkedIn algorithm with videos yet, but I feel like you should definitely, if you have the stuff anyways, just use it, because then it's not much more work. Other than that, I don't have the magic formula for videos. Some of them work, and usually where the first couple of seconds are also very, like something needs to happen in the first 3 seconds, because otherwise people will just skip it. But if it's similar to the written hook, if the first couple of seconds of a video are like, oh, whatever is happening, because, I don't know, a lot of text is coming in, cuts already, and you get hooked by that, then people also start to continue watching, and this is then also increasing the engagement the longer people watch your video.
I mean, the content that's out there right now is
Yeah.
so bad that probably anything that's even slightly better will perform.
I mean, you should definitely try it. I would love to do only video. If I could choose, because I don't like reading at all, I would only do videos. But as for now, we don't really have the resources. We could potentially, but we don't really have them right now. And it's just not working as well as other things. But if I could choose, I would go fully on video. So if you still have the like platform to try out these things, definitely do it, because there has to be a reason that LinkedIn choose this video feed. I mean, on your phone you have the similar like Reels or TikTok, that you have this one button that, I hope it's still there, I don't know, but it was there for quite a long time, where you can just scroll through videos. So there has to be a reason for that. I just don't fully understand how they're like putting that into the algorithm.
Next question, what was next?
The next question is probably about personal branding, because I feel that I need to redo my personal branding on LinkedIn, because now it's very, very bad.
What makes it bad?
Because I'm not really writing, so I do the worst. And I used to be a software engineer. Then, and I feel that I have like 2 different personalities, like one on LinkedIn that was software engineer, and another one on Instagram where I'm stand-up comedian. So
Really?
yeah. So, and what I want to do is like to bring stand-up comedian to the LinkedIn and
Do that. Like, I don't know how you want to combine that, but I think this could be, like, if you want to build up your personal brand, next to being very informative and posting consistently, there has to be something like, what makes you special? What is this one thing that probably others don't have? And whatever you want to do, if you want to just like promote your stand-up stuff, or you want to combine stand-up with software engineering for your personal brand. I've never heard about something like this, so that sounds actually very interesting. And LinkedIn is not as formal as it was 5 to 6 years ago. People on that platform became younger. It's still increasing in terms of users. There's still more and more people coming in. And I think you can be way more creative nowadays compared to the time when I started.
Okay, thank you.
So but I also interrupted you. Maybe you want to continue with your question.
That's the best thing that I could hear as an answer. But another one is like I want to bring this persona and then start to promote my startup that will be also event and entertainment related a bit. So it will be kind of fit in everything.
Yeah.
So I think I just need to do
That's already sounds like great storytelling, because if your business is about entertainment and media, and you're a software engineer and you somehow have a skill in stand-up comedy, you have your personal brand. This is, you can definitely roll out this story, make like creative posts, be it video or photos or whatsoever. But that actually sounds to me like a great start. And now it's about consistency. And maybe in addition to what I've been saying the whole time is, you guys need a content plan. Like really start to think about the stuff that you want to post in a month already somehow. Because if you don't have these blockers in your calendar or your Notion calendar, we use Notion for that, then you probably will forget it. So we have a very strict content calendar for all of our accounts, so I know exactly what's going to happen the next couple of days. I write my posts by myself, believe it or not, but I still have a team that is taking care of all the other channels. And I can highly recommend to, use AI, of course use AI, but I feel like people will definitely see if someone posts by themselves or not, even though there are a lot of creative agencies taking that over. And in my case, it was also the fact that Marvin was actually doing all of my postings in the beginning. But at some point, I felt like I really need to speak for myself. And this is why I still do most of it completely by myself, even though it takes time. But it's also part of my job, so I guess it's okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Right next to you.
Hi, first of all, I just want to say, like, you have a really charming presence. I can see why you're the top voice.
Thank you.
I have two questions, so I'll talk fast. The first one is, like, you mentioned, like, you do a lot of things, podcasts and, like, LinkedIn and YouTube, I think. I feel like content creation is, like, already a full-time job, and I was wondering how do you divide your time and energy between, like, the management of your company and like other things, and do you get, like, burned out sometimes, and how do you, like, recover from that? And my second question is, like, as a fellow student, I start in 3 weeks. How do you, like, make the most of, like, your time at Code, and how did it support you?
I start with the second question first, if that's okay, because this is where it all started. So my background is that I didn't even know what I was applying for when I got already accepted. So I studied, I think product management is not, do we still use that?
It's called business management entrepreneurship now.
Oh, this is what I'm going to do my bachelor's in, okay. So I started with product management, and I didn't know what it was, but the university sounded nice, so I was like, okay, let's go in. And I had no people around me with similar interests. I was born in Frankfurt, so I moved to Berlin. And all of a sudden, there was this, like, huge landscape of really smart people doing really crazy things and really focusing on digital products and businesses, all of these things. And for me, it was just a great way to be around people and learn from them. I know this got more difficult with this hybrid concept of, I started to study before COVID, so back then everyone was on campus every day. So that was very, very nice for me to just learn from the people around me. And as I said, I met my two co-founders there, who are not only my co-founders, but also my best friends. So that's like a double win for me. But I learn the best from other people around me, and also take the opportunities if I get them. So, I didn't want to found a company, here I am. And I was open enough to just, like, get everything in that I could. Also in terms of, like, modules, I was, like, doing everything. just to develop a certain skill set. And I think this is something where most of code students are also lead into. I love working with code students as well. So we hired code students as well in the past, and whenever we work with them, they have like a different mindset. And this is something you should definitely like try to keep really established within that environment.
Are you hiring are you hiring right now in
no.
general?
If you are a fully fledged event manager, then yes, but as for now, nothing else than an event manager role. But if we're hiring, you'll notice that because we usually always post in this code drops channel. Then the first question was, can you repeat that?
So how do you divide your time and energy?
Okay, I got it. Sorry, thank you. So I also work in our marketing department. So my job was always marketing and communications, which is probably the nicest job within our company, in terms of like my subjective opinion. In the beginning, I mean, if you're founding a company, there is no 9 to 5, there is no 40 hours. So you really put your whole time and effort into that 24/7. So that was kind of possible to just try out all of these things and do them by themselves. At some point, of course, if you're hiring, you can like put some work on the people that you hire. I'm a big fan of saying yes to a lot of things. I know that there are always things where you should say no, it's too much. But this is what brought us to where we are. We just said yes to things that we didn't even know of. And it's also with content. I just tried everything and saw, okay, there's more potential, so I put more focus into that. And I'm very well aligned with my team. So I hired a working student 2.5 years ago. He's now a full-time employee, and he's still like directly by my side doing that stuff with me. But yeah, I think there's no golden rule to tell you how to distinguish these things. Just that anything around personal branding should not be underestimated, even though you have so much stuff on your plate for your company. If you're just working in your silo and no one knows what you're building, I mean, you can still use, I've heard you have these ads things. Of course, if you do ads, then people kind of know about your stuff. But if there's no traction on your LinkedIn or whatever platform you're using preferably, then it also doesn't really make sense. So I would start immediately and try to find a balance for yourself. And if you feel burned out at some point, then obviously try to use more AI or so, I don't know. I was also close to burnout 3 years ago, but this is just because we started a co-working space which was not on my bucket list. And this is like a very, very harsh business model to start from scratch from, but this is something like completely different topic. It's a great co-working space, you should come over.
Thank you. What's the name?
What?
What's the name of your
It's called W3 Hub.
Okay.
So all of our companies start with the W3, and then it's W3 Fund, W3 Hub, W3 Vision, W3 Labs, blah, blah, all of these
Great
things.
branding.
Yes. Thank you.
Hi. Regarding the LinkedIn branding, who do you think should not do that, or like in what situation do you think it doesn't actually make that much sense? And also, like, how much, in the same sense, like how much time do you spend on it? And I guess this also informs the first question.
Yeah. So I think who should not do it? Probably someone who's not allowed to be kind of transparent. So I don't know if you're very sensitive with the stuff that you're working on because of NDAs and so on, and you cannot fully tell a story, and you're not allowed to reply to certain questions because of this and that, then it really doesn't make sense. Like, you really need to be prepared to be as open as you can, or find the right words at least. But other than that, honestly, I would say everyone could do it. Like, be it a designer, a developer, a CEO of a company. If you want to represent your company, then it's great. If you don't know what your goal is with LinkedIn because you work in a corporate or you work in a startup with 30 employees, and you are a person that actually doesn't really want to be associated with your startup, then it doesn't make sense. So usually it always should have a business context. and this is what people are also associate you with. But I don't know if you wanted to hear something specific. I think everyone should do this. I also tell everyone in my company, even to my employees, do something, start with it, start to write about something, you do you. And this is how I encourage everyone to also do something for their personal brand, because you never know when you would need it at some point as well, even though if you're not the founder of the company. And you asked something else, right?
No, I'm mostly about like how much time, but I think again on that point, I'm just wondering, because I guess like everyone is like cringing about posting on LinkedIn, and there's like some fear in their head of like, this could be damaging to me somehow. This could actually be like bad in some way. So I feel like what I'm wondering is like, do you see that case of, do you see things where you think, oh, this is actually probably damaging to their like personal brand, or this is actually like counterproductive, or do you think like the attention span is so slow, like so fast, like just do whatever, and then if it's bad, it doesn't matter?
Honestly, the second part of it. Like I don't really have a good reason to not do it. If you are a founder and your goal is to create awareness for your business, then you somehow need to do it. I don't know a reason why it should be harmful. You should be okay with the stuff that you're sharing, and you should be okay with people technically stalking you at some. They don't, like they seriously don't. But if you're not okay with the stuff that you're posting, then don't do it. But other than that, I don't see a reason why it should be harmful. But maybe this is also my very optimistic and naive view on that, because I experienced the fucks given, you know. I in the beginning I thought so many things about do's and don'ts, and I also had a lot of, especially in the first place, because we were just a fund and we were still very young. So sometimes my co-founders also said to me, okay, Vicky, that was maybe not the right way of framing it, or maybe you should be a little bit more formal, because you're now, I'm from Frankfurt, I can speak Frankfurt slang, I listen to German rap and all of these things, and sometimes I forget that, and then I create a person on LinkedIn where my co-founders are like, ooh, maybe that was a little bit too much. Now no one cares anymore, because this is actually this one piece that people actually value about me, being like this, sometimes like random, I don't know what I'm saying, and this is so funny and blah. But maybe this is just because of the fact that we already have our reputation. So it's not I'm starting from scratch. We did so many amazing things in that space already. We still have a lot of stuff to learn, but now people respect us, so I can do what I want now.
Do you think people on social media in general love authenticity?
I think so. I mean, just look at the stuff that you're following or you prefer to follow. I don't personally like perfect content. I don't want to constantly listen to, oh, this was perfect, we hit again 1 million ARR and blah and all of these things. You need to share these things, because this is what you show to the people and this is the traction that you get. But usually the stuff that really sticks in people's head is, oh, that was actually a nice person. I met this person doing a presentation and he was so polite and he replied to this comment and he was also making a joke, and I don't know, personally these are the people that I prefer more over the I'm having this perfect LinkedIn profile where everything sounds perfect. I think we're just not living in that time anymore. But this also depends on your industry, guys. I'm working in crypto, so I don't have the microphone.
Yeah, I think we have time for like 2, maybe 3
I
more
appreciate all
questions.
the questions and the interest, guys. Thank you.
Very short question. Thank you so much for your insights. Which software tool do you use for content creation?
We actually just do everything in Notion, and photos, I mean, iPhone. And and for if you want to do videos, at some point if you have cash, buy yourself this DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It's the best camera with microphones that you can get in order to film stuff. We do this all the time. It's better than any iPhone. It's just like a really nice camera. But DJI Osmo Pocket 3. They also do drones, but now they do a lot of microphones for some reason. And other than that, we don't really have any software. We don't have any planning software or anything like
You
that.
don't schedule your posts
No.
up front?
You can do that. We are very, like my employee and myself, we're a team. We know exactly, we write something in our Notion database and have like this calendar blocks and know exactly when we want to post something. But we are the last person with the control over it, so we don't schedule.
And can you share some insights? Is it better? When is the performance better of your postings? Like on Sunday evening, Monday, Tuesday during lunch?
I would say out of experience, Monday to Thursday, anything between 9 and 12. So rather the first part of the day rather than the afternoon. You're welcome.
How's it looking time-wise for you? Do you have time for like a few
Oh,
more questions?
I
or
have time.
All right.
It's okay. I just have dinner plans, but it's just with my friends, so I can just like come whenever I want.
All right, let's still be efficient.
Hi, Vicky.
Where's the mic right now?
Yeah. I do. Actually, just a small follow-up on the
Yeah.
on the previous question. Like, is there like analytics for LinkedIn?
Yes, they have internal analytics that are pretty well. You probably don't need more than what LinkedIn is offering, and that's quite good.
I have actually two. I'll go one by one because not to confuse it.
Yeah.
So the first one is about coming on the stages at your earliest period. Let's say when, I don't know, no one knows about you. Like how, I don't know, easy or hard open or closed community was when you were, initiating, like actually, like I want to come on the stage as a speaker and stuff, and that experience of yours. That's number one.
So just to understand the question was how the step was from being no one to, like no one is very
like
harsh, but you know what I mean.
exactly that experience. Like how hard or easy was it, like to actually agree that, hey, I want to be a speaker. I mean, to be accepted, like on the stage, and basically.
So one thing that we started very early on together with LinkedIn is actually hosting community events. So nowadays, I think everyone knows events are crucial. This is where you get to know the people. And that was early on in the Web3 space as well. So for us, it was a combination of documenting stuff on LinkedIn and just doing it constantly and also engaging with other people in your industry. So it's not just like you post stuff and wait for something to happen. You also need to look out for other people that share stuff on LinkedIn. And we hosted a lot of events. So that was also actually a boost for people to see us, to engage with us. This is where I started my stage journey, because I always had to present on our events. And this is how you get better in communicating. This is how you get better in presenting. This is how you get better in creating experiences. And it took a couple of months, and then it already started with stage presence and stuff, and you just say yes to things and you just do it. But it probably depends on your niche. As I said, I was just very lucky to be one of the very few and first in my niche to talk about crypto in Germany.
Okay, thank you. And the second one is actually about like navigating and forming your personal brand is actually in Web3. Like I'll explain a bit like the context. First, I'm like, why LinkedIn? Because the only common thing I see between LinkedIn and Web3 is a bit of a FOMO effect. If you go to LinkedIn, you are behind everyone already. Like you will see that. So that's like, Web3 people usually like live in another social network. Then second thing, even like Web3 is a very specific about branding. Like everyone might know you, but you might not even have the profile picture. Like could be just like some image or whatever.
But these times are over.
Okay.
No,
So
just
like
for
how
the
did
LinkedIn
it?
part, just for the link. Sorry, I don't want to. Please, you go first.
Yeah. No. I mean, like. Yeah, like why LinkedIn? Like how you were, how did you form that strategy? Like besides just posting, but actually understanding like what do you where do you go? Like how you shape yourself, especially as you were saying, you might not even understand fully what you're talking about, because like a lot of people might not even and still sound credible and stuff.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
I'm curious to know.
Okay, so FYI, I knew how a blockchain worked back then, so it's not like I pretended to know how blockchain worked and I didn't. It's just such a complex topic, so I always thought I'm not like relevant enough or so. But so it really depends on your audience in the end. I know Web3 is very Twitter or X heavy, and as you've mentioned it, and I just laughed about it, but yeah, people are using random JPEGs as their profile pictures. But this is how it works maybe for like very niche, very heavy in crypto related people. For us, we started with a fund, so we were raising money in Germany from real people, and you cannot do this with a fake profile picture on X without people even knowing who you are. So you had to create this trust and this reputation. And as a German company based in Germany with like this BaFin regulation on top of that, because we are a VC fund, we invest in startups, we invest in crypto, we have 2 funds. So you need to have this credibility part of it. So it was quite clear for us that LinkedIn, even though everyone in the beginning was actually making fun of that because the people were on Discord, on X, and all of these Web3 native platforms. But our main target audience back then was actually people with money on LinkedIn. So people with with real identities and people that we could raise funds from. And also, I don't think it's sufficient enough to just be like an alter ego character on X. If you really want to create like a real business and want to be taken serious, you need to be on LinkedIn, even though you're a Web3 company. But if it doesn't really make sense for you to put so much effort into that, then obviously you don't need to make 5 postings a week. If you should focus more on X. But I have employees who take care of the Twitter X part because I'm not that good in that platform, and I'll take care of LinkedIn because this is what I'm good at, and this is where our main target audience is also. Depends. Like from most of our companies, the main target audience, but we also like value our X presence as well.
Thank you. And actually, like small but very important one. So how did you actually were convincing people to invest into and proving that something is not like where drugs are, as you said, you know?
It's not only like LinkedIn is not a magic box that all of a sudden you post something and people start to throw millions at you. This is not how it works. But this is the first funnel that you basically open. For us, one of the key elements is really events and still events. That's why I feel right now I'm a certified event manager. So many events that we have already hosted, but you usually use LinkedIn as, oh, we're hosting this event, you guys should come by. People get the attention and then they come. And the best part is also to, after the event, you can also post, this is what we did yesterday with 150 people. And then people start to realize, okay, these guys are not only investing, they're also hosting events where people can come together for a specific reason and do these things. So LinkedIn is just a funnel, but I don't think that after 2 posts, someone all of a sudden will just like start to invest in your fund. You have to do a lot more, but LinkedIn is the best way to always like market and communicate the things that you're doing and start to create a relationship with the people who are following you and the trust. And the trust part, especially in crypto, is very, very important.
Do you have like maybe 5 more minutes to
I have
stick
time.
around after?
I don't even know what time it is.
Because
So
what I would suggest is like we are officially like kind of close to the round, and then anyone who still has a question can like come one-on-one to the front, and then. Yeah. All right. Maybe is there any like closing advice you would give the teams on personal branding?
Just do it, guys. Like seriously, just it was the best thing that could have happened to my ego, to just start this and get all the attention, so to say, at some point, but also to learn from it. So I also wrote a lot of things that I'm not happy about anymore, or I'm not fully convinced that this was my best post, but no one cares. You are the only person who's like really remembering these things, and everyone else just looks at your LinkedIn and is like, 20,000 followers, wow. Okay, thank you, I guess. So this is, I know it sounds very, what is oberflächlich?
Superficial?
Superficial, but I'm just like being honest and the stuff that I've learned from it. You build your presence, build it with like care, and you should definitely be as authentic as you can, but don't take it too serious because other people also don't take it as serious.
And of course, embrace the cringe.
Yeah.
Well said.
I can't wait to see all of you guys on LinkedIn.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot, Vicky, for your time.
And thank you for the questions.
All right, so everybody else can go back to building. Hopefully tomorrow I see some more ads online. Otherwise, yeah, we will continue with the Builders Breakfast tomorrow and have another founder talk with Leonie Althaus from Trade AI tomorrow.